I didn't deserve this. But it's me who has to pay for other people's mistakes. Subscribe to the channel quickly, and I, Donna, will tell you a story about how loved ones betray. My dad is a very successful businessman, and now I am the only heir to a large fashion empire. The surname Hall is associated only with success and big money. For my 16th birthday, my dad gave me a luxurious gift. The release of a new model of the women's bag Donna was announced. A huge advertising campaign has been launched. In the first 3 days, these bags disappeared from the boutique windows, and those who wanted to purchase them signed up for a queue. This phenomenon has not gone unnoticed in the fashion world, and overnight, Donna Hall turned into a fashion icon. 2 million people followed my Instagram account overnight. And suddenly, I became the idol of golden youth. Yes, this is cool, friend. I don't understand why you're so worried. My best friend Phoebe thoughtfully stirred her coffee. Enjoy the glory. Live for your own pleasure. Somehow, Phoebe knew a lot about pleasure. While her parents flew to Paris for the weekend, Phoebe threw a party at home. So noisy that the neighbors called the police. Then, house arrest for a week. The only thing she begged from her mother was to see me at Edam's, our favorite restaurant. Here comes my popular girl. Skylar kissed me on the cheek. We dated for a couple of weeks. We met at a party. Phoebe brought us together. I wasn't really hoping for this relationship. Skylar was very flighty, constantly hanging out in clubs with friends. It was useless to call or write to him in the evening. He answered only the next day in a hoarse, sleepy voice. Sometimes I joked that Skylar should date Phoebe. They would be an explosive couple. But after I became popular, Skylar's attitude changed. He began to take me with him to his nightly parties more often. He was flattered to be the boyfriend of such a popular person. One day, the three of us had dinner. Me, Skylar, and Phoebe at the same Edam's. And I told them that company of my dad was looking for new faces for the spring collection of our clothing brand. Both boys and girls are needed. Skylar perked up. Marmalade, can you put in a good word for me? I want to become the face of your brand. You're not a model, Skylar. And this is not entertainment. A multi-million-dollar contract, constant filming, and responsibility are at stake. We need a professional here. Where are you? And where is the responsibility? I patted him on the cheek. Skylar frowned but didn't say anything to me. Everything is clear with Skylar, but why didn't you give me this mega popular bag that all the girls are after? Phoebe, you know, every bag there has its own serial number. After a complete sellout in 3 days, each one is now made to order. Sign up for the queue. Phoebe pouted. I later remembered this moment many times. They wanted to use me, my connections, but I didn't understand this. I have dinner with my dad today. We are discussing the upcoming party. We've sold our 1,000 Donna bag. That's a reason to celebrate. A party on a yacht for the inner circle. Several of the most famous publications have been invited. They want to record an interview with me. Plus, a photo shoot. Dad handed me 2 invitations. Take someone with you so you don't get bored. Phoebe and Skylar are jumping up and down when they found out they were going to be at the party. The party was a great success. Dad was talking to investors. I talked to journalists. Of course, PR people especially prepared me for this for several days, so I felt very confident. While I was posing for photographers on the deck, Skylar and Phoebe were whispering about something in the far corner. I even caught Phoebe looking at me, and there was so much envy in it. Or maybe it just seemed to me. By the evening, when it was already well dark, my head was cracking from fatigue. The yacht was moored near the shore. Almost everyone left. You are very smart, Donna. Dad hugged me. Everyone was delighted today. I'm glad that I have such a smart and beautiful daughter. It's time for me to have more negotiations with foreign partners via Zoom. And don't be late. Dad nodded to Phoebe and Skylar. It's already late. And indeed, there was no one else on the yacht except the 3 of us. I wanted to go home, fall on the sofa, and fall asleep. I suggest we go for a little ride, Skylar whispered in my ear. And Phoebe was already starting the engine. No, guys, it's already dark. Don't whine, Donna. Give us some of your precious attention. Let's have fun. And then the yacht took off. I could barely stay on my feet. Phoebe and Skylar grabbed each other's helm, laughed, and shouted something. I saw an empty champagne bottle near Phoebe's feet. It's clear why they are having so much fun. Guys, don't drive! But they didn't hear me. And a minute later, a terrible grinding sound deafened me. Hit! I was thrown back. And the last thing I remembered was cold water and insane pain in my back. It's difficult to talk yet. The blow was serious. I opened my eyes. Dad wipes away his tears. I'm in the hospital. It turned out that the yacht hit the coastal rocks. I hit the side and flew into the water. Back injured. I can't feel my legs. 2 weeks later, I was already at home. The scratches on my body had healed, but the soul ached. Neither Phoebe nor Skylar ever visited me, but they are the people closest to me. Dad persuaded me to take myself shopping today. I looked for some sandals in one of my favorite boutiques. And then I saw Phoebe and Skylar. They also went into the store. Phoebe froze near the bright dress in the window, and Skylar suddenly hugged her around the waist? Can't be. Phoebe, Skylar, hello. I couldn't stand it. They were clearly not ready to see me, but there was no time to go. Phoebe smiled wryly. Have you decided to go shopping? The wardrobe is already bursting. I didn't expect such cynicism from my friend. I see that now you are more than friends. Skylar lowered his eyes, but Phoebe looked at me defiantly. Yes, Skylar and I became close during this time. But you couldn't find time to visit their friend. And why do you need Donna, who refused to give one expensive branded bag and pushed the other one through at the casting? My now former friends were silent. I rolled the wheelchair out from behind the sofa and sat in it one fell swoop. Yes, I couldn't move. After that blow, the legs were immobilized, but the doctors were optimistic, and me too. I can learn to walk. But how to trust people? No rehabilitatologist can help here. If you have any advice, write it in the comments. Thank you. Hi, my name is Candace, and I'm in love with a psychopath. I didn't realize it at first, and now I'm trapped. Let me tell you everything. Please listen to the end and give me your advice. So, Jake and I met at the beginning of the semester. He had just transferred to my school, and we were put at the same desk in geometry class. From the first minute, I really liked Jake. He helped me with geometry, and he also complimented me a few times, as if by the way. I felt that it was mutual. And we went on a date later that evening. The date was perfect. We spent the whole evening talking and joking around. Jake was very attentive, admiring my hobbies, telling me how much he liked my clothes and voice, and that I was so cool. I was over the moon because I thought Jake was the perfect guy. I was so wrong. The next few dates went great too, and we started dating. Soon, we were unofficially the prettiest couple in school. And a lot of girls were jealous of me. One day, Jake and I went to a soccer game. At first, everything was fine. But all of a sudden, my boyfriend stood up abruptly and started yelling at me. I didn't even know what happened right away. I was just dumbfounded by what was going on, and he accused me of admiring the athletes on the field and not paying attention to him at all. And then, you'll know what happened next in a minute. For now, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. And make sure to click the bell so you'll know when there's a new video on the channel. And then, Jake said that I wasn't worthy of him and that he didn't want a whiny girl like me. He got up and left, and I was left alone on the bandstand. Everyone was looking at me, and a lot of girls were giggling. I felt awful and embarrassed at the same time. I decided to break up with Jake, but the next day, he came up to me at school and kissed me like nothing had happened. Jake gave me candy, invited me to go out to a cafe later in the evening, and was really nice all day. I forgave him and accepted his offer to go out with him. But at dinner, it was like Jake had been switched again. He was silent all night, upset, and at the end he cried. I tried to make him feel better, but he didn't even want to listen to me. Jake was acting strangely, and it was becoming more and more apparent every day. He could be emotionally silent for hours, thinking about something. Then, he could suddenly start yelling at me, getting angry, getting hysterical, accusing me of something I didn't understand what he was talking about. And sometimes, he was back to being the loving Jake I'd first met. Every day with him was torture for me. I didn't know what to expect from him in the next second. I couldn't get used to it. He could humiliate me, call me names, and then suddenly press me passionately against him and declare his love. But at the same time, he was very popular at school, and I didn't want to break up with him. I liked being his girlfriend, but in reality I felt like a scared and intimidated mouse. One day, on our anniversary, Jake and I went to a restaurant, and he threw a plate at the wall in a fit of rage. Then, he started crying and apologizing. To the waiter, to the other customers, to me. Then he yelled at me, saying that I had made him mad. A few minutes later, he hugged me and kissed me on the lips. I began to shake from such sudden changes in his mood. So I took a cab home. I didn't go to school. Not the next day, not the week after that. I blocked Jake's number. I hope he'd forget me. But as soon as I showed up at school, Jake brought a huge bouquet of flowers and dropped to his knees in front of me. Everyone gasped. The guys know how to ask for forgiveness. So as not to humiliate him in front of everyone, I nodded and asked him to stand up. And at recess, I told him it was all over between us. There was no turning back. And after that, Jake turned into a monster. He haunts me. It's been a week now. Sends love notes, leaves notes on the sidewalk outside my window, calls in the middle of the night, and he keeps saying the same thing. Candace, you'll still be mine. I'm terrified because I can't prove he is crazy. Everyone at school thinks he's just totally in love with me. I'm afraid of him. I'm scared for me, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Jake is a real psychopath. I've seen that. I don't know how to get away from him. Maybe you've been in my shoes or know what to do? Please give me some advice. I really need it.